met him about a week and a half ago, and he immediately impacted my life. And he said, if you want me to be here, I'll be here. If it's meant to be, it'll be. And I was like, well, yeah, you're going to be here. And so here he is. So, and I don't use this. I'll say this one other thing before I do the formal introduction here. So he walked in to the room, and I looked at the guy, and I said, I know that guy. You remember this, Jason? Or remember me telling you this? I said, I know that guy. So I walked up to somebody and I said, what's that guy's name? And I don't know. I walked up to somebody, what's his name? And I was like, I know him. And he finally sat down and introduced himself, and I was like, I don't know him. I don't know him, but I know him. And you ever get that feeling like you know somebody, like you know them your whole life? That's how I feel about this guy. So anything I say after that, Jason, isn't going to matter. So, but let me do it anyway, real quickly. And I'm just going to do a little bit of it. Jason has created 3 music styles, released over 100 albums, has been #1 on Billboard and Amazon, and had 5 Billboard top 5 albums in 5 months, or in a 5-month period in 2019. And this all in the last 7 years. His music has opened meditation to thousands of people who have never meditated before, or who have tried meditation and have failed in their effort to simplify or to simply sit still and clear the mind. And then I'm just going to end on this last paragraph. Jason, I'll let you jump in. Jason is a 7th degree black belt and co-founder of Zen Wellness. His unique perspective on health, wellness, and spiritual growth comes from his lifelong study both of music and the ancient arts of Eastern health and meditation, or medicine, meditation, and enlightenment. His meditation and Zen training began as a child through music. And I'm going to stop there. Jason, thank you, and I'm going to turn it over to you, sir.
Hey, well, thank you, Tab. Thank you for having me. And the stars did align for me to be here because our Zen Wellness has an event right now that's going on. I was actually supposed to be teaching there, and I said, hey, can I switch it around? And everything just magically happened. So here we are. And so in our very short time that we have together, I want to take you through a couple exercises and a couple drills, but let's start with this. So you're going to learn nothing from me. And if your head is full, which it usually is, whether you're live or staring at a Zoom screen and listening to a lot of really brilliant teachers and instructors and entrepreneurs sharing all their wisdom and all their information with you, well, the head tends to get full. And even Bill was just talking about, when your head is full, the value of a clear mind, and the most important thing that you need to work on is yourself. Well, there's so much truth to that. That's actually very, very profound. And so that's what we're going to do with our time together now. So you don't really need to take notes. If you want to take notes, that's okay. But this isn't about me giving you more information or making your to-do list bigger and having more things to check off. It's actually going to be the opposite. And so if your head is full right now, we're going to empty the head, and I will explain how to do that. And then we're actually going to do that, because think of this. Okay. This is your head. Okay. This is you. And this is you on thoughts, having a lot of thoughts. It's estimated we have between 60,000 and 100,000 thoughts a day, and 99% of them are the same thoughts you had yesterday. And so there's this skipped record, this looping of these same thoughts, especially if you're running a business, or if you're on a team, or if you're in sales or any type of leadership position. You have all these things that are tugging on you, and this starts to happen. Well, you take the snow globe, you put it down, you make it still. What starts to happen? The turbidity starts to settle, and we can think of this as mental and emotional turbidity. And then at the end of the turbidity, you have clarity. And that's what we want. We want to empty this so that you have a clear head. Oh, sure. Right after we do it, I already know you're going to do this again. And that's okay. Rinse and repeat. And you get turbid, then you get clarity. Turbid, clarity, turbid, clarity. And if you can build the muscle of putting yourself in that mental clarity, and really what that means is not having thoughts and the ability to stop the incessant stream of thinking in your head. Because right now there's a voice in your head and there's a really good chance it's commenting on what I'm saying. Unless you're looking at your phone or you're distracted, but then it's just commenting on that. So you and I are having a conversation, but there's the voice in the head going, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Oh, I remember this, blah, blah, blah. Well, we need to learn how to shut that voice off, because most of the things it tells you, you don't need. Some of it is obviously new ideas and great stuff. That's very important, but we need to sift through that. We need to be able to stop the clutter and stop the nonsense. And there's a saying, it says, chain the monkey to the tree. And where that comes from is you can think of it as your monkey mind. There's a wonderful teaching in the word human being, because we're really made up of those two parts. The human part of you and I are very different than when we were a child. And actually, in every 7 years, every cell in your body reproduces. 7 years ago, there's not one cell of you and I that are the same that it was here. So we're constantly changing, and that's the human part. The being part, the observer, that which observes the incessant stream of thinking, doesn't change. And that's the same from you're a child, and it's the same forever, basically. So you have the being, and then you have the human. And what we are going to do is chain the monkey to the tree, stop the incessant stream of thinking. But the thing we have to know is the monkey is a master locksmith, and the monkey will escape. And it will trick you, and the voice will start again, and that's okay. There's no way around that, but we need to learn to stop it. So this started for me at age 8. I'm 50 years old now, so this was 42 years I've been practicing this discipline, and it started with me in music. And we didn't call it meditation. And so my music teacher at the time, she said to me, this was my first lesson. I was a little 8-year-old boy. And she said, never, ever listen to the notes. Idiots listen to notes. Masters listen to the space in between the notes. Because when you listen to a note, your mind is cluttered and you hear nothing. When you listen to the silence, to the space, your mind gets very clear, and then you hear everything. And that was a cool lesson, especially for an 8-year-old. So what we used to do is we would, play a note on the piano, and then we just close our eyes. I'd close my eyes and I'd listen to the note dissolve into nothingness. And that little point of sound and no sound, you focus your attention on that. And then the internal dialogue starts to drop. And even try it now as I'm talking. Just as a little fun little exercise. I have the words I'm saying, and then there's a pause. And see if you can dial your attention in to the pause. And when you do that, you can notice the inner dialogue. If it doesn't shut up, it gets quiet. And that's what we want. We want an off switch, but to start, I'll take a volume switch. just make it a little bit less. Because the other thing that happens is when you learn how to do that, when you learn how to drop and to go into the place of nothing, you get all types of new and creative ideas. And that's how I'm able to produce as much music as I'm able to produce. And a lot of it is with Zen piano. And because I go to the place of nothing, there's no thought, there's no sound, there's no nothing. And I just wait for an idea. And it always happens. It always comes up. It always pops up. Something's not always good, but something always comes because I can go to the place of no thinking and just wait and wait for it and be very happy It's actually a wonderful place to be internally. And then something comes up and something emerges. And that's just not just in music, but I do that in business and relationships. Anytime you need some like creative or non-linear thinking. Creative thinking tends to be non-linear, and getting things done tends to be linear. That's why if you tend to be non-linear, at best, you're, a visionary, creative visionary. At worst, you're a scatterbrained. And, if you're linear, at best, you're, get things done. At worst, you're like too rigid and not flexible at all. So two different types of thinking. You tend to be one towards the other. I tend to be way more nonlinear than I am linear. For me to get, linear, I have to make a list and make sure I get everything done. That I had to work harder to have linear thinking than the non-linear thinking. So, okay, that being said, now there are three characters here, and this is the characters. This is thousands of years old. They figured this out, and what this means is Jing, Qi, and Shun. You don't have to remember that. Remember, I told you I'm not going to teach you anything, but let's understand the meaning of this. And all this translates to is what we are made up of is matter, energy, and consciousness. And so let's think about that. So matter is everything you can see, touch, and feel, right? We know that. The energy, we know that. That's the breath. Some traditions call it chi, Qi. Some traditions call it prana, Prana. It doesn't matter the word we give it. It's just the energy that runs through us, but it's also the emotion, because emotions run through us. And so if you say, I am angry, that's not really correct. You're not angry. You're like a little dollop of consciousness that hangs out in this big meat suit called a body. So you might have anger type energy running through you. But that's very different than identifying with the emotion we call anger. So next time you experience anger or some type of dark emotion, I have grief energy running through me. I have frustration energy running through me, and it creates a little bit of space, a little gap between you and the energy, and it just softens it a little. I was taught as a child, because I did the music and I did the meditation that way. And a decade later, I was formally trained, in the ashram and the dojo, and we would, do all types of martial arts. We would do meditation. We would sit for 4 hours in meditation position. This was fortunately before smartphones that we would do that. And what I was also taught is, this is not my shirt. This is the shirt I wear. Now, I'm not talking legal viewpoint. Yes, legally I own the shirt, but at some point, me and this shirt part. This is not my house. It's the house I live in. This is not my car. It's the car I drive. And again, there's a little bit of space between you and the object, because at some point we part with all objects. And that just keeps your head clear so you don't get overly attached, I think is the best word. But okay, so back to this. We have matter, energy, and then consciousness. Well, consciousness is what I was talking about before. That's the being part. We can call it the eternal I am. That is the observer and that which observes your thoughts. And so an analogy I like to make is the H2O analogy. So if we have H2O, solid, liquid, vapor, it's all H2O, but it shows up in different ways. And this is actually called the three treasures, is one of the many words that this concept happens. And so what we do at Zen Wellness and the practices, and we are going to do it today. So I'm going to take you through some of the breath work, especially if you don't like to meditate. I love working with people that either don't like to meditate or tried to meditate and failed, or think you should meditate, or tried the meditation class and secretly open your eyes, looking around left or right. What the hell's going on? What's everyone doing here? I don't get it. Most of the people that come to us, have that, or had some type of experience that way. And so when it comes to meditation, there's actually 3 types of meditation. There's sitting, standing, and moving. Usually we think of just the sitting part, but there's standing part and there's a moving component as well. And then within the movement, there's movement, breath, and intention. So everything works out very nice in 3. And those of you that were raised Catholic, you learned this also. You just used a different language. The Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Right here. So these things show up. This is very ancient, and across many, many different cultures came up with the same information. So Okay, that being said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with the breath. We're going to start with some breath work. And if you're looking for inspiration, there's a few sayings. There's, of course, inspiration to perspiration, but the word inspiration, spirit, right? In spirit, connected with your spirit. Spiritus, which is Greek, it just means to breathe. And so if you're looking for some inspiration, well, start with the breath, and everything is in the breath. And that's also the easiest to start with. It's easier to start with breath work than start with meditation, because we're really going to start moving. So, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to take you through 7 minutes of breath work. And there's 3 things that you need to consider while doing this. And when I first learned this, 30 some odd years ago, we called it udang myangsa breathing. Nowadays, we can call it intermittent hypoxia, because what we're going to do is we're going to pump oxygen, we're going to pump it, and then we're going to exhale, and then you're going to hold the exhalation. And I'll take you through all of this. I'm just giving you the, like the flyover right now. Then we're going to do it. You're going to hold the exhalation, and then, I'll tell you when to breathe in, then you're going to breathe in, and then you're going to hold the inhalation. We're going to do 3 sets of that. And here's what's going to happen. When you hold the exhalation, the blood oxygen level starts to drop. Like if you had something they give you in the hospitals, a little blood oxygen level that goes on your finger. We're going to drop it, and we're going to pop it back up. And we're going to do this 3 times. And we're going to drop it, and we're going to pop it back up. 3rd time, drop, and pop it back up. And what we're going to do is build up your nervous system. And you have your, a real short flyover, sympathetic nervous system. And basically, think of this as fight or flight and resting in the now. We're going to trigger your parasympathetic nervous system. We're going to trigger your fight or flight, and then you're going to rest in the now. And so we're going to trigger it. And so the reptilian brain of yours, there's a really good chance, thinks it's going to die in a few minutes, but you're going to make it. Okay. I haven't lost anybody yet. I've been teaching this for 30 years, but you're just going to hold it. Now, that being said, if you need to breathe in, just breathe in and do the best you can. So for these 7 minutes, do your best. If you can't hold the exhalation the entire time, that's okay. I'll even give you a recording of this if you want to practice and do this on your own. So, okay. 3 things to consider. The first, rhythmic breathing. Rhythmic breathing is going to look like this. You're going to, let's do this together just for a moment. Breathe in, out. Always breathe in through your nose. And in general, we can breathe out through your nose. If you want to breathe out through your mouth, that's okay. But for right now, always in through your nose. That's the first thing. The second is, we call this the inner smile. And what you're going to do is, while you're holding, it's a little half smile like that. And you're going to take your tongue, touch it on the roof of your mouth. And I'm going to remind you of this because you're going to forget. Like that. This inner smile, this little half smile, changes brain chemistry. And the opposite of the inner smile, and some of you are quite skilled at this, is of course the resting bitch face. And that's everything kind of drops. We want to lift and lift it up. And then the third thing we're going to do, if you've done any yoga or some of those traditions, there's a word called mula bandha. You don't have to remember the word, but let's remember the meaning. It means root lock. And all you're going to do is a kegel with your stomach, your abdomen slightly tight. So it's like your lower section is just slightly tight. And all that does is that helps with the energy circulation. It helps keep the energy in the bank account. So let's think of chi or energy as currency, because it really is. Energy is currency. And so what we're about to do is fill your energy bank account. We're going to fill it up. And as you get good at this, you learn how to keep filling it up, which enables you to spend more. If you just keep fill it up and then you spend, fill it up and then you spend. Okay, so those are the 3 things: lower abdominal, rhythmic breathing, inner smile, and mula bandha. I'm just going to use the word mula bandha. That means a slight kegel and a slight tightness in the lower body. So let me start the music and we will do this. Oh, it might help if I share my sound. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. Let's do this again. Nice and relaxed. Okay, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to do rhythmic breathing. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale. In. Release. And keep going at that rhythm. Inhale. Exhale. Release. In. Exhale. Big breath in. Exhale. Keep breathing out. Breathe out a little more. Now we hold the exhalation. So I'll tell you when to breathe in. It's only 30 seconds. Okay, shoulders relaxed. Little inner smile. Mula Bandha. We're almost done. Here we go. Big breath in. And hold the inhalation for 30 seconds. Neck relaxed, and if you start to feel lightheaded or need to breathe, that's okay. Take an extra breath. It's okay to do that. We're almost done. Exhale. Back to rhythmic breathing. Inhale. Exhale. In. Release. In. And keep going at this pace. This should feel real good, especially after the holding. Exhale, neck relaxed. Inhale. Exhale. In. Release. Big breath in. Exhale all the way. Breathe out a little more. A little more. And hold. The clock has already started. And the second time is just 45 seconds. I'll tell you when to breathe in. Smile. Tongue touches the roof of your mouth. Mula Bandha, so it's a little tight. And just feel your body. Wiggle your toes. We're almost done. Inhale. Hold the inhalation 30 seconds. Neck relaxed. Shoulders relaxed. Exhale. Now, big breath in. Exhale. Now back to rhythmic breathing. Last set. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale. In. Release. And keep going. Flow with the breath. So inhale. In. Big breath in. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale. Keep exhaling. And this is the last set. 60 seconds we do now. So make your body still. Smile. touches the roof of your mouth. Mula Bandha. And just feel your body right now. Wiggle your toes. And feel your fingertips. We're almost done. So if you can, keep holding. Don't breathe in yet. Okay, here we go. Big breath in. And hold 30 seconds. The hard part's done. So keep the Mula Bandhas. There's a little tension. Neck relaxed. And here we go. Exhale. Now big breath in. And hold 4 seconds. Exhale. And hold 4 seconds. In. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. And release. Okay, last breath. Best breath of the day so far. Inhale. And then exhale completely. And you just did 7 minutes. And you made it. Good job. Okay. Before the questions, I promised you one thing. Remember, I promised the little off switch. So I'm going to teach you something. It's so profound, so simple, but when you master this, this can completely change your life. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get some other music going. And all this music I write, this is all custom music for these type of exercises. I was never supposed to be, #1 on Billboard or any of that stuff. That was never my intention. I was just writing music for our group and for Zen Wellness and, happy little, happy music to meditate for. So, okay, here's what we're going to do. Okay. We're going to meditate for 1 minute. Okay. And you can do this. And so the first thing is just connect the breath, and we're going to connect the breath with the bell. So when you hear the bell, inhale, exhale. And if you don't hear a bell, that's okay. It's every 4 seconds. So inhale, exhale. And now all you're going to do, ask yourself the question, I wonder what my next thought will be. And like a cat staring at a mouse hole, wait. So try this. So close your eyes. I wonder what my next thought will be. And just wait. And when a thought comes, because it will, you just let it go like the mouse. Don't chase the mouse. Come back. I wonder what my next thought will be. Okay, big breath in. And then exhale. Okay, so maybe you experienced a moment, a little slither of no thought. And what we say, there's a saying about that bell cannot be unrung. Once you have a crack in the incessant stream of thinking, you did it. And now there's mastery of having longer spaces and being able to sit for long periods of time, but that's the foundation of this. And so I said I'd leave some questions. If there are any questions, I would be happy to take them now. We have a few minutes left. And if there's not, I still have plenty more that I can go on if there's no questions.
Well, we have 2 questions. Okay, there they go. All right. So the first one is from Michael, and he asked, I worked long days on my business, How do I keep a high level of energy throughout the day?
Yeah, and the answer is very masterfully, Michael. Okay, so here's the first thing. You have to remember who's working for who. Okay, does the business serve you or do you serve the business? Ultimately, you want to make the business serve you. And that's why you do this. And yes, and whatever your business is, it can be benevolent and you're obviously helping people. Otherwise, they're not going to pay you if you're not going to help them. But at the end of the day, don't sacrifice your wellness for the business, because there's an old saying, the person with good health has 1,000 wishes. The person with poor health has one wish. So that's the first thing of just, okay, let's make sure that this isn't going to suck all my life force out. Now, that's more of a philosophical answer. There's a practical answer. And what you want to do is all throughout the day, take breaks that put energy in. I mean, we have, I wrote a lot of these albums that I write. I wrote 9 albums that have songs of 5 minutes with the bell. You just heard 60 seconds of one of them. And the idea there is you put on the bell, you close your eyes, and you do the breathing for 5 minutes. Now, if you'd asked me 30 years ago if I thought I'd be writing 5-minute music, so it wasn't the case. 30 years ago, we'd say, hey, you want to meditate? Do 40 minutes in the morning, 40 minutes in the night. And everyone would go, okay. And everyone they'd do it. Good luck if I told you that now, Mike, right? You just nod and you'll get right on that, but you're not going to do it. However, what you can do is just do a little bit. If you can't do 5 minutes, do 2 minutes. If you can't do 2 minutes, then you need to meditate 2 hours if you don't have 2 minutes to meditate, okay? But if you do like just little portions, and there's other things that you can do. I mean, I can't tell you this now. We have programs for this of different exercises, sitting, standing, and moving exercises that you can do throughout the day to put energy in. Because if you can avoid feeling blown out at the end of the day, that's better. Like, make your lifestyle so that, no, you do all the work on your business. I do a tremendous amount. I can't even tell when I'm working anymore. I don't even know the difference. I don't even know when something's hard or easy anymore. I can't tell. I just do what I do. But at the end of the day, you feel good and you feel relaxed. And sometimes, yes, you give it all and you're tired, but there's a difference between sucking all your life force out. And so I would start with the exercise, the 7-minute exercise I did. Do that 3 times a day if you can, and take little breaks. And if you have a team, do it with your team as well. But think the turtle beats the rabbit. I like to see if you said to me, hey, I have 35 minutes to meditate in a week, I'd rather you do 5 minutes a day for 7 days than wait till Sunday. And it'd be the same thing like saying, hey, I'm just going to take 7 showers on Sunday and I'll be okay. No, you're not.
That was a direct one at Tab, huh? I know. No, see, it's funny because we talked about that earlier, and that was a great question, Michael, because it's definitely needed. There's no point in working 3 days straight in order for you to need a 4-day break from those 3 days because you overdid it. So definitely a great question, Michael. We have one more, and that's from Julia. It says, I have tried to maintain a consistent meditation practice for years, but I have a hard time sticking with it. Do you have any suggestions to help me stay focused?
Yeah, there's kind of the saying that, the key to the happiness is a low standard and a short memory. And actually, it's a key to a good marriage, right? A low standard and a short memory. In order to make something a habit, there's a few things you want to do. And all that happened is it's like it didn't stick. The habit didn't stick. So what do? The first thing is, there's a great book on habits by BJ Fogg, and him and I have had this, this conversation that we're having. We've had it many times about you want to make motivation, high or low, difficulty, easy or hard. So the first thing you want to do is make it so easy. Like, start with 1 minute, or in this case, start with one song, 5 minutes. If you can't do that, start with 3 minutes, where you're just sitting and doing it 3 minutes. And then, so that's the first thing, is make it super easy that you succeed. And the second thing, if you can tie it to something, like something that you link it. And let me give you an example. I know a woman, she's in one of the groups that I'm in, wonderful woman. She's in Genius Network. She's in her, I believe 70s, late 70s. And she couldn't do one push-up, and she wanted to do push-ups. And so she now does 300 push-ups a day. No kidding. I'm not making this up. 300 push-ups a day, not sequentially, it's all throughout the day. And what she did is she tied it to every time she had to pee, she did a push-up. So it's just one push-up. Well, you're going to pee, whether you don't, nobody needs to, let's develop a pee habit. No, you already have that. You're good. So you tie it, you tie something to that. Now, I'm not going to go as far as saying, every time, you could tie it to meditation. I guess you could, but if you can tie it to something that you're already doing, because then it becomes easy to remember, because otherwise you forget. You might be motivated, and so make it really, really easy, just a couple minutes. And I have some resources, for you. If I can give some websites that you can get a bunch of tools for this to help you with it. And so make it super, super easy and tie it to something. And a real good way to do it is do it in the morning. Or how about this? Let's do this for the day. Okay, ready? Everyone here, close your eyes. I'm going to keep it open so I can see you. Okay, take one big breath in. Breathe out. Open your eyes. You just did your meditation for the day. Congratulations. So if you think of it that way, make it so crazy easy, then you'll do it. Then you start to like it. My meditation is my favorite day. I do it in the morning. I do it throughout the day usually. Most days a couple times. Some days just once. And it's my favorite part of the day because I get to go into the point of nothingness. And, and then one other little point, Tab and I spoke about this. If you have thinking time, like there's a principle of just every day spend 10, 20 minutes thinking about your business, just thinking, no media, no distractions, no nothing. If you can add a meditation beforehand, it's like if you do, hey, when your head's like this, let's do some thinking. You're not going to do good thinking. You want to make it so that you put the snow globe down and the mental and emotional turbidity settles and your head's clear. Once your head's clear, this thinking is much more valuable than this thinking. So it's like you'll get a greater ROI on your thinking time if you just let the thoughts settle and then you focus on something. Good questions.
All right. Let's hear it for Jason. Not just for that great talk, but also because I know Tab is not a woo-woo Zen type of guy, and this guy made you a believer, didn't he? He was the one. I know he's the one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I appreciate you. Thank you, Jason.
Can I give two websites for resources?
Yes. Go ahead.
ZenPiano.com. So that has some of the music that's real easy to remember. Zen Piano, and then the other one is everyonecanmeditate.org.
And
we have a ton of free material on those sites.
You guys put them on the Refiners refiners.io. Yeah, so we're going to put them in the community. That way everybody's going to be able to see them. Cool. All right. Thank you, Jason.
Welcome to Refiners. Refiners is an organization of business owners and business professionals that are looking to improve their business and personal performance, just like you. As a Refiners member, you will have the opportunity to build connections with like-minded individuals from your industry. Join our amazing community for free at refiners.io.